Hi, everyone. This is Jim Pugiampsis with the Pro on the Go. This podcast today is about the power of reading and the impact that you can make to the world. I'm not sure how long this is going to be, probably half an hour or so, but it's going to be a good half an hour, let me tell you. So let's get started. When I was younger, obviously read books from schools and so forth. Had to. But outside of school, I remember reading a book called the Dunn books. And I'll show a picture here at the end of the podcast. And that's the oldest memory I have. But in 2003, everything changed. I met two great mentors. And the name is of Max Haroon, who was internet pioneer, and Terry Gardner, who had a business owner who was involved in an online business that I became a part of. Both these gentlemen taught me a lot of cool things. But one of the things that both of them taught me was the power of reading. And let me tell you, I consider myself a voracious reader. I know it's a very heavy word, but work with me here. This is going to be a powerful talk that I want to share with you. So I hope by the end of this, you'll see what I mean by what I'm doing about reading. It's something I'm very passionate about. Anybody I talk to this about in person or over the phone, I get really excited. And I felt it was important to share this podcast to inspire and motivate for everyone listening and watching, which I do truly appreciate, that you can make a difference. So I started reading books and Casual Quadrant, Think and Grow Rich, Magic of Thinking Big, personal development books. I thought I'd read them all. I missed a few. It's a joke, by the way. And made an impact on my life. And then something happened. I started writing articles. Those articles turned into ebooks and then a book. Then I took everything I was writing very seriously because people are reading what I was writing. That's a big responsibility. And I wrote lots of articles, all sorts of topics. But something magical happened. A number of people reached out to me that were impacted by my articles. They said they want to meet for a coffee. One gentleman wanted to meet for a coffee and talk to me, and we did, and he got very emotional, and I got emotional. And this gentleman went on to have uber success in business and travels all over the world. I follow him on Instagram. Amazing success. It's just one story. I've impacted other individuals, Dianne, Ojar, Hirantha, Nandasena, many others, to write books. Actually, 7 authors. To write books, show them how it's done. And it's been a huge, humbling experience to do it. And this is why I treat this passion of mine so seriously. But here it gets very, very interesting. I read books. I started reviewing books and sharing them on my blog. That's great. But then something interesting happened. Two quick stories about this is, one of them is I went on Facebook. I said, anybody got a book to read? I'll read it and review it on my blog. Didn't think anything of it. Wouldn't you know it? I started getting books in the mail. I know, you'll be shocked. I mean, not just books, but all sorts of books in the mail. I had people who saw my post, like Wiley Canada. I got books, like 8 books in 1 year from Wiley Canada to read and review. And they were interesting books, very good books. So be careful what you wish for. The other story is I actually went to a convention for the Public Speakers Association in 2016. I was the last speaker to share in a 4-day conference, and I went up there. I'm like, what am I going to do? What's my offer? And the only thing I could figure out is, got any books? I'll read them for you. 30 books later, carrying those to the airport, read them all, share, review them. Another special experiment that went well. These stories, happen over time, by the way. But the power of reading books. So when I read books, I take my time. One of the books I read was Jennylyn James wrote a book. And I read a book, and I was about halfway through her book, and I saw a networking event, and I said to her, that Ming the Merciless, he made our life miserable. I'll never forget her reaction. She kind of looked at me seriously, and I thought I'd gotten in trouble or something like that. She started laughing. She goes, "Man, you really read that book?" Yeah, that and a few other things we talked about that were kind of special in the book. Started laughing even more. And, she really said, "Yeah, you're really reading that book." And then other really cool things were happening was reading another book called The Mentor's Mentor by Corey Olnick out of Calgary. And I read this book like 4 times. And then like the 5th time I read it, I was like, okay, I didn't see that paragraph. So I actually I did an event, and I did a whole seminar just on that paragraph. I'll share that on the podcast with the link for that. And one of the most powerful 20 minutes I think I've ever shared on something is that. And it was in Scarborough, I think in 2018, 16. Again, powerful testament. So as you see, not that I read the books, but I share them, I talk about them. As time went on, I met other authors who've written books. And at that time, I have, I represent an email marketing company called Constant Contact since 2012. So, my specialty is not email marketing, but specifically with speakers and authors and trainers, facilitators, how I use it effectively. And then my whole journey changed because, I want to show them how I did it myself. And I did. I created a feature on my blog called the Spotlight on Success before I did the Pro on the Go. And I interviewed individuals on another platform, and then I wrote on my blog, and that took off. I did like 50 people. I did Olympians, all sorts of individuals. And it was very, very gratifying to do so. And then, it became amazing. Another powerful story. Me and Hirantha Ramadhin, good friend of mine, known for 10 plus years. He invited me to his condo downtown, and just for a night to go swim. He had a pool there in the condo for swimming, and Randy was like, "Oh, you want to go swimming?" So I got no business card, no phone, no nothing, right? So I'm swimming like a fish, Randy goes, "Man, you swim like a fish, man. You're there." So Randy and I are talking shop in the pool, and there's a guy beside us. His name is Surab, and he's like ears like this big, listening to us. Turns out Surab was a successful entrepreneur, and we gave him our business cards and ended up meeting with Surab, and he told him his story from being homeless to where he is then. And it was very emotional, and I encouraged him to write a book and write articles and so forth. And the power of that is that everyone has a story. And that's why I encourage everybody to write, to do something. And I always will. And I have. That's why this topic was very important to share, because there's so many ways you can get books. You can get books in the library. In my area here in Toronto, you have things called book libraries, where you take a book, give a book. Oh my goodness, no books I found in those libraries, ridiculous. But the other thing is that you can learn is the power of making an impact. So part of reading is not just reading something, but sharing it. So what I realized is I was I could share really well. And as I told with Jennylyn's story, I really kind of swerved left and right in my journey, and I read different types of books. I read a number of books written by women, early on, things that happened in the 1600s. Many books. Many people have heard The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, but I've read books before that book came out, other eras. And what I realized was it was such a good conversation piece, because I can relate with different books, with different individuals, especially networking. That's a powerful, powerful thing, because many successful people, I always ask, "What book are you reading? What book are you reading?" Always ask. And, their eyes light up. "Oh, I got this book. I got that book I'm reading." They're always reading. And, so lately, last few years, I've been reading a lot of bios on successful people from the past, the present, and just amazing to read some of the success stories, some of them Canadian, some of them US, some all over the world. And I get so excited. I like telling people about these books I've read. And that's the power of being able to share and understand what you're doing. Right now, I'm reading a lot of books in the political field because I'm in the process of writing a bunch of articles about that. Many of you have the Quantum Leaping podcast I keep pushing. See me and Hisham Kadomi. We're in season 2 right now, and we've done a couple episodes on politics. And I've been reading a lot of books on political figures from the past. John Avlon, Washington's Farewell. He's a CNN correspondent and nothing. His wife Margaret Hoover, also big. Everything she's doing. So a lot of great books, a lot of magazines, a lot of videos online, especially the political culture in the U.S. It's changed in the past 5 years. There's a lot of cool things. So I'm doing research on that. But I've always had fun. Like I'm a big fan about the Dummies books, the Dummies series. Oh my goodness, there's lots of great books. I'm reading Salesforce for Dummies. I found a book today on scrapbooking for dummies. Oh, I mean, my goodness, I can go on and on many books I've read from the Dummies phenomenon. Part of all this is reading doesn't just allow you to learn, but allows you to grow. And part of what I've done is I'm rereading books that I've read because you're in a different time in your life, and they're gonna feel different for you. And I used to read like 3, 4, or 5 books a month. How do you do it? Well, you find a way. Wake up early, go sleep late. I had one, in the car. If I'm stopped and I'm at a meeting, waiting for someone, read a book. I mean, I was on a movie set last year, a couple of years ago on Wiley Academy season 2, and we're in a scene in a dark club, and there was a guy reading a book, and he put it under his thigh when we're shooting, and then he pulled it out when we weren't. I went up to him, I go, man, you are awesome. He was like, look me surprised. I'm like, wow, that's a good way to use your time. I'm like, man, if you can do that, I can do that. And tonight I'm going to be going on a movie set. I'm like, I'm going to bring a book with me and put it in my back pocket, But the part of the premise is on the pro and the go is you can do it. So as far as reading is, when I have a book with you, my business partner, Hisham Kadomi, oh my goodness, everywhere, every time we used to meet pre-COVID, always had a book with him. Always reading some interesting book. Amazing covers, like Targeted, he was reading, Weapons of Math Destruction. Well, I got very interested. And he's doing work in the AI machine learning area. Well, let me guess, I jumped both feet in and started reading the books he was reading, and they're very fascinating, especially the Weapons of Math Destruction. Oh my goodness! I have a copy here. I always tell people about this book. It was a powerful, powerful image. So you just never know where it's going to lead you, and I think that that's why I wanted to talk about this, because many others focus on other types of books, and you make interested. Like sometimes I'm on the subway, like I'm sitting on the subway or on a bus, and I see people reading a book. I just look, maybe I write it down. Sometimes I've asked them, can I see that book? And like, sure. So you get ideas of other books people are reading. And we have the public library system here in Toronto. I'm pretty sure wherever you are, you have a library system. So I just get the books from there, wait till they come in, and I read them. Well, sometimes I go buy them if I want them. And there's a book I've read called Money, The History of Money. One of the best books I've written so far. I read in 2021. Unbelievable. The history of money. Money was created in the 1600s. I told at least 10 people about this book. So again, I'll share the link to my blog where you can see all these books that I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, the power of reading is not just for you to learn. It's the power of making an impact for others. And you may not think at the time when you're reading that book that you can make an impact on others. Probably not. You say, nah, no way. Well, I'm going to tell you, you'd be surprised. I remember, a few years ago, I was at an event. As you see, I go to a lot of events, and there was a gentleman there. We're talking about something, and then a book came up, and I read it. And the funny story is, I was in a meditation group, and everybody taking meditation knows, it's quiet. You have to relax. Well, the gentleman, the monk who was sharing, was sharing this book called The Molecules of Emotion. I'm like, I got that book. And I said, I got that book. You do? Read that book. Very interesting book. My girlfriend at the time, she was like, yeah, I was telling her about it. She goes, yeah, when I got the book, I bought it and I read it. Okay, great. And, like I said, the impact you can make. Sometimes serendipitous things happen with things that you're reading. Other people are reading it, and they have their own perspective. It's like a movie. People see it, and they get a different perspective. So I hope you really found these stories that I'm sharing of impact, and that, the part of the Pro on the Go podcast on multiple levels is not just me, sharing something, but really at the end of the day is making an impact. Like I said on my business card, if you can see it or you're listening, it says learn, speak, socialize, cover my book, Get Connected. I'm working on a follow-up book called The Pro on the Go. As you may know right now, that's what I'm planning on doing. I've written a bunch of articles, but part of the podcast was an easier way to share the information quicker for you without waiting for the book to come out. And that's why I chose this topic. And I really, really inspire that when you finish reading this, listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, go out there, ask friends, what books are you reading? Go to the library, go online, type in top 50 books, pick up a book, this thin book, this thick books, and start. You will not be disappointed. And individuals who don't read, you're not getting away that easily. There's audiobooks where you can listen to them, okay? I have a few friends who are audio listeners. I gotcha. You can listen to books. So I hope that you enjoy the information. Again, the Pro on the Go podcast, it is about sharing, inspiring insights on not just success, but what makes success and what leads to that. And that's why I'm so excited to share this. So this is Jim Hugansis with the Pro on the Go, the power of reading. Take care, everybody.